All right, so I have finally decided to make a video back here because, quite honestly, I do talk too much and it's been quite some time, and I want to just talk about some things for the most part. So, so I have this like belief that maybe I've kind of mentally stunted myself by early growth as a content creator of a sort, which was becoming a Twitch streamer. And because I became a Twitch streamer so early and not really knowing what I wanted to do with my life, I've stunted the idea of what I wanted to do with life. But then again, I'm weird. Like, I remember in the fifth grade, and there's probably people that remember this back in the fifth grade, when people asked me what I wanted to grow up and be, I literally said I wanted to be a bum. And let's just say, in some aspects now, I kind of feel like one. Which, honestly, I don't see an issue with it in some aspects. Because, I mean, I have made some decent progress in my life. Like, in the pandemic, I was literally full-fledged bumming. My biggest goal in the pandemic is I was, like, on unemployment since my job didn't want to take me, and most jobs didn't want to take me in, because I literally realized I had no skills at all. Nothing. Nada. I worked retail, I worked as a loader, I worked selling phones, and literally nothing wanted me. Not even remote jobs. I was sad. Needless to say, in that pity and feeling sad and all that, my biggest goal in the pandemic was getting a PS5. And guess what? I got that PS5. And I was a part of the first group of people that ended up getting one. I felt amazing. And it made me start to realize about how a lot of the goals that I have, I'm putting on toner right now, which is, it's good. It's like the second process of like facial cleaning and all that. And I'm not, I don't have any credentials to really tell you exactly what this is doing. I just know it's good. But needless to say, I got this PS5, and as I realized once I got this PS5, with the first batch of people that ever got the PS5s and all that, I realized then in that moment, when I put my mind to something, I really do get at it. I started off with Twitch streaming just because I was like, ooh, I want to meet a lot of the streamers and all that stuff. And I got to meet a lot of my idols then. And I was grateful. I was glad. I thought I was going to be a content creator. But if I'm going to be honest, I had no drive at all to be a content creator. Just thinking about the aspect of making YouTube videos all the time and all that. But I really like streaming. Just sitting in one place doing absolutely something, gaming, whether it was, well, gaming or watching YouTube videos with people and all that. I thought that shit was so fun. But, these past years kind of made me a bit of a social warrior, which I really don't like that, quite honestly. Because it's just like, you can always find yourself getting mad about something. And you could even see that on this channel, that I'm trying to talk about things and all that. I'm like, honestly, hold on. My now idea is like, hold on. Let's just chill out. Why do I gotta be angry, So like I'm saying, like, everybody's just angry about some shit just to be angry. And I started feeding into that side too. And I didn't know why. So as I've started realizing more and more throughout the pandemic, I ain't had no skills, ain't had really nothing to go for. I mean, think about it in this aspect. I graduated high school with the GPA in like, I think I was like a 2.1 or a 2.3. Literally. I was doing great in athletics. My second year running track, I made it 7th in state. Second year in hurdles and all that. But here's the first punch to my face. I realized in that moment, well, not in that moment, I was taking 5 painkillers every week just to compete because I had a rare hip impingement, which in short, basically one of the bones overextended and it was cutting up into my meat. That's the easiest way to say it. I'm wearing like boxer shorts right now, so I'm just gonna stand up right here. This left hip right here, as I was running, going into the running motion and all of that, it would cut all right into here. So like literally after my events, even after taking a painkiller, I will feel the pain. I would immediately pull up this limp. And like I said, after high school and all that, I did have offers, but I was depressed. I didn't care about school. I didn't. Not early enough, at least. I wanted to do something. I saw all my friends going off doing stuff, and I realized in that moment, damn, I'm not going to be able to take the same path as them. And I got my first job as UPS loader, which, hey, there's nothing bad with it, but I realized in that job as I was working 12 hours a day, and I worked 12 hours a day for 4-hour shifts, because they only gave us 4-hour shifts, but I was able to work there 12 hours out of the kindness of the bosses because I was working. Because of the fact that they liked me, it was cool, and one of my coworkers actually lived in the neighborhood that I lived in, and I didn't have a car. Eventually, I got my first car, and man, did that car shut off on the highway, shut off at lights, because the people I bought my car from actually had air coming into like the engine or something like that. I guess the car was breathing in more air than I do. And sadly, the people I bought it from, they taped over areas that didn't show us, and I knew nothing about cars, and yeah, so that was the thing. But needless to say, how I tie this back to me now and all that, I had to work, and in the pandemic, once I realized all these other jobs wasn't going to do it for me, they let me go and I had nothing to do. I had to work at the will of other people, you know? And, this feels so good. I'll be right back. Sorry, yeah, this thing feels really good. See, I became a massage therapist in the pandemic. I realized that in a public health crisis, why not get into a career where I have to work directly with people despite the fact that we're staying 6 feet away from each other and being in quarantine? Great idea, right? But yeah, so that's what I ended up finding my love in. I massage people for a living, and it feels quite nice, you know? Other than the fact that I feel like my hands get intense, my body get intense as I'm working on people to feel better, you know, I start to feel a little bit worse. But it's very rewarding work with the money, and then also in that aspect that people that actually get good work on them, they let you know, and that feels rewarding in itself too. You know, when you actually do good work for someone and they're really thankful for it, especially when they feel those changes in their bodies, like they can move their arm a bit better, they feel like they could genuinely smile, they feel like maybe their energy has been manipulated in a way. And that's the things that make me really happy in this career, right? So I realized in the end, after everything with all that, I still want to make YouTube videos. Well, I didn't in the past, but now I can't justify not making YouTube videos, you know? Because it's just like, at the end of the day, I feel like something with this can help progress. Other than the fact that I really want to have a great, big massage business that's also helping people with their lives and shit. I also feel like I actually want to go to college now, get some higher education, and figure out some more things for health, you know? I don't know why I have such an adverse reaction when it comes to like kind of editing right now. And I have this video that I've been kind of culminating on since December. I went to Cancun with my family, and literally at that time, I was waiting for my license through the state, and the state made me wait 4 months to get my license. Crazy, right? The people that I was talking to, I kept talking to a manager of some sort. this manager telling me, hey, you didn't send your school transcripts in. I sent those. And imagine this conversation repeating every day, bi-daily, because I kept calling bi-daily for multiple weeks and multiple months, should I say, because I mean, I did wait 4 months. While I also had a job waiting on me where it's just like, hey, you know, whenever you get your license, you can come in and work. And yeah, I was calling by daily, waiting and waiting and waiting. And if you search up IDFPR, you will see that there's a shit ton of people, I mean nurses and other healthcare practitioners that aren't able to get into their work and missing out on jobs because of the fact that IDFPR don't want to give people their licenses. Yeah, but that's another side tangent. I hope I'm talking on point. Well, needless to say, I'm a grown man. I'm feeling grown. I feel like I'm actually chasing things and doing right for my life right now. And I hope that I can help people really get onto track, because it's just like, shit, if I feel like a little bit of a fuck up, which I do feel like that pretty often, you know, I think I could potentially help other people figure out their shit. Yeah, don't worry about the little white eye cream. This is like caffeine eye cream, helps reduce under eye puffiness. I don't think it's doing it, but it just feels nice to do. So be it. But at the end of the day, I hope I can help people figure out things with their life and get things going. Because, I mean, shit, I feel like a fuck up pretty often. Hey! Stop fighting! My damn cats are fighting each other. See, that's another issue in my life. But yeah, I feel like I fucked up a lot of parts of my life, and I think it's a struggle. Life is a struggle, but I figured it out in the end. Well, still figuring it out, because there's no way to say that you figured life out exactly. Maybe when I'm on a deathbed, but that's for another debate. I feel like maybe I could help people in some type of way. Obviously, I work with my hands, and maybe through talking, like I did in the past about things, let's talk about some goofy stuff. Find out some stuff about yourself, doing typical hobbies and shit. Because it's just like, man, who would have thought me at 24? I buy comic books again. I haven't bought comic books since, I want to say, 5th or 6th grade. I used to collect all these Spider-Man comics and all of that, and I have no idea where they are. I think my granddad threw them out. I don't blame him, because we was moving and all that. But, you know, they was really cool comic books. But like I said, I don't blame him. We was moving. And he did tell me to pack my shit up. I didn't pack it up. So it got packed up. So, needless to say, I'm starting to get back into, like, the kid age of me. The things that I really liked as a kid and shit. I'm making my way in the grown-up world with a job, finally, and all that. And starting to get things going. I used to think that I was completely, like, ugly as shit because I was told that throughout school or made fun of in one way or another. Shoot, I got gap teeth, and that used to be a huge kill to any bit of the ego that could ever be grown, right? Because I remember I got all the types of talks about, like, oh, look, that man got the Eiffel Tower could fit in between there for a toothpick. Oh, Grand Canyon between the teeth and all that other stuff. And quite honestly, does that shit hurt? Sort of. Then that shit smacked me. That shit hurted. I really didn't care to even brush my teeth then, you know? Because it was just like, what's the point in even brushing my teeth if people just gonna make fun of it? Shit, might as well do nothing. They just gonna make fun of it regardless. And that was like the type of things I was thinking when I was younger. And like I said, now as a grown man, do I still care about those comments? A little bit. They kind of stuck to me. But at the same time, I'm still figuring out shit. And I think in some aspects, I'm figuring out my life a lot better than those of who have talked shit on me and said stuff and all that. Or maybe I'm not. Maybe they might be galaxies away, figured out their life, they have their old life goals, and everything is sitting fixed. I don't care. quite frankly. I really don't. But I'm really glad to say that I'm figuring shit out and I'm feeling like there's actual progression. And I feel like even just making this video is progression in itself. So for those of whom are looking for like some type of progression or shit, want to watch me figure out my type of progression, I'm going to start doing a little bit more. I have this video on Cancun when I went there with family. That shit put me into a depression afterwards because one, I caught COVID. Once I got back after Cancun, I was still waiting on my license. And then now editing this video feels like a distant place. Even though I'm making the most money in my life right now, it just feels kind of crazy because it's just like, dang, I was out there and I don't know when I'm going to be able to make a trip out the country again. And that saddens me a lot. And I know it's possible. I just feel like there's a lot of different steps to doing shit. And I don't know necessarily if I'm taking the right steps or not, but I'm trying. And maybe through me talking too much that I can talk about some things, figuring out some things out loud, because I don't necessarily use my voice all the time. Maybe we can kind of get to it. I do feel like I'm at like my peak of creativity right now, and I want to be able to fester. Is that the right word? I want to be able to cultivate this greatly. So this channel will no longer be about talking about cuties or Tory Lanez and Meg Thee Stallion and all that. I just want to talk about shit. Not shit that aggravates people, like whatever new debate of the internet. Because, man, I was talking to my man's Khan. And we was talking about how I see anything aggravating and I want to talk about it. And he said something that was so needed for me. To type it out, look at it, read it out loud to yourself, and then realize it ain't gonna change shit for them. And I was just like, well, damn. He got a good point. So now I'm trying to, let's just make progress. This is progress for me. Making something. Maybe I'll finish off the Cancun video this week. I went out in January and it's May now. My mom asked me to finish that video a while ago and I still haven't. I'm trying. I am trying. But yes, this is what I feel like can be the chapter of creativity and overall progress in my life. And I think YouTube is pivotal to it because, I mean, I pay for YouTube Premium. I really like the stuff that I get with this stuff. And I like a lot of the content. I watch YouTube so much. I've watched YouTube since its inception practically. Since I had the internet, YouTube was all I had, all I loved, and I always come back to it. And I think, if anything, that's a sign. And if it feels like a sign, it probably is a sign. And that's what I'm just going to jump at. So, y'all saw, yeah, I think that's it. I don't need to talk no more, quite honestly. So, if you got some shit that's going on and you're trying to figure it out, let's try to figure out this shit together. Because quite honestly, this life, it's confusing. It's quite confusing. Oh, this doesn't feel like a long tangent, or maybe it might be too long. I don't know. Well, thanks for watching if you're watching. I'm going to keep talking. I'll catch y'all around. Peace.